All right, and I am live. It is Wednesday evening on the Rancho, and good evening, everybody. Wednesday, August 28th, 2019. Let me make sure I'm getting out to the other side here. Boy, everything's working so good, it's almost frightening. It's having such a great handle on Streamlabs here, and I'm really happy. Tina, how you doing, sweetie? Nice to see you. I hope that you're having a good one. I got these little burrs in my shoes. Almost Uber. How you doing, sweetheart? Nice to see you. Always honored to see you in the chat. Take my shoes off here. Yeah, look hot. Yeah, like the old broad, right, at football games. The old broad at football games. Let me shift a few things around here, and we'll get underway. Lulu, how you doing, honey? Nice to see you. Lulu71 in the chat. Hope your Wednesday was a good one. Mine was eventful. How you doing, Cheryl? Big hugs for you, honey. Always in our thoughts and prayers, the great Cheryl Highfield here. Hello, Charles. Good evening to you. A lot of things to talk about tonight. Good evening, Mark Handler. Good evening, the great Dagon Hills is in the chat. Nice to see you, my friend. Always one of my most faithful watchers there. I'm always so happy to see you. We'll let the film. Tanya Z, where you been, honey? Tanya's like, shut up, Rosie. I'm living life. How you doing, Survivor? Nice to see you. Isn't that great? D got a van today. I'm very excited about that. I bet you can make an awesome pass, right? There we go. Boom. Downfield. Johnny Unitas would be fading back. Boom. Throw the bomb, John. Cobra John. How you doing, honey? Definitely the coolest cat on YouTube right there. Monique, how you doing, sweetie? Kathleen Elliott, nice to see you. Hope that you're doing well. Monique, what do you think? The van, Uber Goober. How you doing, sweetie? Huh? How you doing? Uber Goober wants to put me on some oxygen. She's got the line in 2019. Rosie, you better share my oxygen hose on there. Isn't that awesome? Can receive a few passes too. Yeah, I'm happy for him. We're going to tear into that a little bit tonight. What the consequences and possibilities of that are, and why I think it's so, Scotty, why I think it's so wonderful to have that. Scotty London. Mwah. Still remember Scotty stream sniping me down in Chinatown in San Francisco. Definitely one of my high point moments. How you doing, Spanky Ham? Spanky left a comment today. Rosie, all this trouble because of losing a key in Cheyenne. Spanky, it put you on the map, man. I haven't seen Alpine Gulch around for a while, so I wonder how she's doing. Well, let's get you all fired up. It's Wednesday night. You know what I love to do. So here we go, y'all. Monique, grab your pom-poms, honey. You're my girl. Let's get to it. All right? Here we go. Got to get the, blow the cobwebs out. Here comes Oda May.
When you Clippers from Baltimore, fight you Baltimore Clippers. Baseball fight for a Baltimore score.
Defensemen, forwards, and goalies will win with one classy redhead. There she is. Get your wrench back, honey. Fight, fight, fight.
When you Baltimore Clippers.
Friction.
Clippers from Baltimore. Fight you Baltimore Clippers. And score, score.
Take it up a half step. Man, that arena would be rocking, the Baltimore Civic Center. Get your hot dogs, throw them on the ice. We're playing the Hershey Bears. will win without a doubt. For Baltimore and everybody, every Clifton. This is a music night. DeeDubs. Take it up another half step. Now you're in high gear. This was before the high fives.
Baltimore Clippers and score.
Oh man, if that doesn't get the old blood flowing, I don't know what does, guys. The signature song. You know, Monique is a youngin'. Cindy's a baby. All you guys are babies out there compared to the old broad. And there was something very special about growing up with sports in the 1960s and 70s. Now, what could that be? What could that be? Well, knock over all the shit in the place. That's right, Rosie. What could that be? Number one, you were much more in touch with the players. You know, when I was young, players had, they had to work some of the year too. You know, Boog Powell, the great first baseman for the Baltimore Orioles, Big Boog Powell, came out of Key West and he would run charter fishing in the off season. Even Jim Palmer was selling cars, and Johnny Unitas was running restaurants. People were much more approachable. Yeah, I know, Cindy, you look like you're about 40, honey. They were much more approachable back then, and I kind of miss that connection that things were, I don't know, there seemed to be a lot more spirit. There wasn't all the corporate. Kim C, how you doing? Nice to see you. I want to officially welcome back one classy redhead, and you know what I like, one classy redhead. She stepped away from YouTube to do her thing with family, and I have to applaud her for that. That's very noble, and I mean you really have your priorities right, and I know a lot of you do that. A lot of you won't even pop online until, you know, if your grandkids are staying over, or your kids are there, you take care of business first. And I really admire that. So I'm really glad to see her back in the saddle again. I kind of thought, you know, Rosie's sitting out there by the fence like the old hound dog, just looking down the road. One day, not today. Oh, tomorrow, be out there bright and early, sitting out on the road. Oh, not today. Not tomorrow. And then one day. It's like one classy redhead. It's like she's coming back from war, man. And it's like, there's the Rosie. Thank you. Hello. Jeremy says, Rosie, I enjoyed your video and happy to know you won. You're right on the mistake that the mechanics made and gave you a car to rent for 5 days. Why in the hell not? Why should it be a big issue? Why should it have to go up to the Western States regional vice president for all service, you know, west of Kansas City? Why should it have to go all the way up to that level? When we're talking about a $22 a day car rental negotiated rate with the dealership, and because your mechanic screwed up or you have a defect in engineering and you destroy a manifold and consequently destroy the oxygen sensors, why in the hell should I be responsible for that? Can I get a witness? That was wrong. Cindy, you know that was wrong, honey. How you doing, Jen? You know that wasn't right. There was nothing right about that. And I didn't care if I had to put it in gear for Detroit and head over to Fiat Chrysler, man, and make my case right there. It should have been handled by the owner of the dealership. You know, and Cobra John, I would have been embarrassed if you were on the chat this morning and you had seen that bullshit. Because you know what? You probably would have picked up the phone and given them the what for. At that dealership. It is ridiculous. The vice president's frustrated. Just sit the phone down. Son of a bitch, why do I got to be bothered by this stuff on a dealer level? You know, it's kooky. It's kooky. So I'm gonna have something on for tomorrow. It's kind of an important thing in the morning there. How you doing, Mouse Toes? Nice to see you. Hi, Karina. How are you? It's on them. It's got to be. There's no other way. As soon as somebody tells you you're in a recall item, you're in a protected zone. Okay, it's like you have a bubble around you, and you can do no wrong. Okay, but you know the way dealers are. Dealers are going to push back every chance they get because I hate to tell you, 3/4 of the people that drift into car dealerships just suck it up. Okay? Now, there's two service techs that mainly service that dealership. Not techs, but two service intake people. If it had been the other guy, you remember Cobra John when I had the effing issue about the transmission temperature light coming on and the check engine light? Remember that? And the guy ended up stiffing me for another recheck on it because the engine light wouldn't do the malfunction when he was driving it. Okay? It wouldn't do that. That guy was a real service tech. We would have been toe to toe just staring at each other over the counter. But this guy, I could tell, this guy had a little bit of heart to him. And as soon as you pushed back a little bit, he just went over. You know, they didn't even want to arrange the car for me. And they got Enterprise Rent-A-Car directly behind the dealership. And according to the Chrysler Fiat service call-in center, it's supposed to be routine. If you damage something during the course of a recall, or it takes longer to do the work to make it safe or to make it proper, normal protocol is you give somebody a rental car because you have a really kick-ass negotiated rate with the rental car company. They love that. You got people coming in all the time that need a rental car that are having work done. So that sucked. Bella Rose, the Queen of Buffalo, how are you, beautiful? Nice to see you. How's that garden looking, Bella Rose, huh? Send me a picture of your garden. Okay, and say hi to Brad. Yeah, I know you're not a fan of the cow bearers, okay? And I wouldn't send it to Tucker either. He would call it the snowflake capital of America. I think that car, that is a nice, yeah, I've driven Sentras before. I've had them as rental vehicles. They're okay. Same way if you buy a vehicle from a car deal, you don't know if it's a good or bad vehicle because they cover it up. My husband went through that. They suckered him. Exactly. Guys, got to really watch yourself. Kawana, how you doing, sweetheart? Nice to see you. Hey, Jay. So, a lot of people aren't equipped to push back, particularly in this area. This is like wine country here, and everybody's kind of a delicate snowflake, and they don't want to, they'll go home and bitch about it while standing over their Williams-Sonoma cooking gear on their beautiful granite countertops in their lovely kitchen island with craft-made cherry wood cabinets. They'll sit there and bitch. But they won't take it up with the dealer. It's just the cost of being classy at a dealership. And here comes the old Rosie girl barreling in. Yeah, it's going to be a long day in here. I tell the guy, pack a lunch, man. We're going to be here a while. We're going to be here a while today. But I resented the fact that with normal protocol, the guy pushed it back on me at the end. Well, you got to call into the Chrysler Center and sit on hold for a half hour, talk to Brittany. And of course, Brittany's putting the second coat of clear on top of her nails, and you can hear her fumbling around on her desk. Yeah, yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, I know. Remember the old Capital One commercials? what was it they said? Just say no or something like that, you know. Really made me mad. Dagon Hills, of course, I'm always talking to you. Hey, Sean the Brit, how are you? Are you taking us on the trip in the rental? I might be. I don't know. That's what tomorrow's topic is going to be on the morning. When is Pork Chop arriving? I have no idea. If you're talking about Elvis, he may end up scooting it back to Chicago. I don't know. It's honest to God. It's, you know, we've run this horse right down to the nuts. Okay. You ever go out to the county fair circuit when they're having a county fair and they drag in these 15-year-old horses and they just run those things right down to the nuts? Well, that's the way this story is run, right down to the nuts. And honest to goodness, it's a little scary. You know, you can hear the howling winds of fear whip through, and the realization, you know, you're looking at your dwindling pile of resources and you're looking at where you are, where you want to be. And it's really a butt-clenching moment. It really is. Okay. Like I said, I'll help anybody that comes to the Rancho. I'll donate my labor. Do anything that can help out. But financially, I don't feel obligated to do that. I think that's the time that you draw on the resources of the collected pool of goodwill that you have in your channel. Okay, now I wish Elvis nothing but the best. We're good friends. And I think that things will work out in the end. Okay, I don't know what decision will be made. Okay, how you doing, Mel? Hey, Joe, how you doing? I have no idea, Joe. I haven't seen any update on that. Okay, yeah, the big wig boss, Rip on Service Boy, yeah. How you doing? What's up, Bergs? Thank you. Let me just show you what I got today. Hold on a minute. Oh, I have to tell you, Bergs. Let me just show you this. And Bergs, of course, we've had our ups and downs. But look at this that came today. Isn't it nice? Got Bergs. I like that. I like that, Bergs. And you know what I really like that you did? And unblock people, Bergs, okay? He has a classy mug. And I have to say, I look at a lot of mugs on YouTube, but look at that. Look at how simply elegant that is. To be official Bergette. Official. Bergette. That's the kind of understated merch that I really like, you know. And in fact, and Bergs will verify this is true, I have one of the very few limited edition first run pieces of merch that the Bergs did. I think it was the Makiba shirt. So well done on the shirt. Barbie Pena, how you doing, beautiful? Nice to see you. Keep it simple. It's elegant and it's nice, you know, and I applaud you for which I'm not everybody. Some people like very loud. I just think it's something that anybody, any place could have on their table, and it would be nice. Yeah, Makiba the Miracle Cat. Yeah, he did a nice job. You know, I would have liked to see him do the same Bergette thing on the shirt, because people would be curious. They say, is that what you call those big things on your chest now, Bergettes? So Bergs, I don't know if they like the oh, you like the Cal jersey. Yeah, they gave these out at I think last year, Missy Jenn, in 2017, we took a trip to Berkeley we called it the Bad Boys Tour, and we explored the roots of why Berkeley became such a hotbed of protest since the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. We ate in the cafeteria with the students. I also called it the Bad Boys trip because Missy Jenn and I took a trip to San Quentin prison. And we had the rare distinction of being able to visit the death row gift shop. Okay? Featuring the art, and only the art, of the prisoners that are on death row at San Quentin. Okay? And standing face to face, and you know who Scott Peterson is, face to face with my hands on a piece of art that he did in that shop. If you haven't seen that video, just punch in death row gift shop down there and you'll see that. Okay. Yeah, it was pretty cool. We tried to bring the unusual content there, and that was certainly one where, you know, I got a lot of blowback from people walking up Telegraph Avenue in People's Park I went into. You really risk your life going in there. But no guts, no glory if you don't take a camera in. You're never going to get anything that I'd be interested in watching. You know, I know the tourist attractions of San Francisco, what few there are in Oakland. Man, I don't care about that. I know what the Golden Gate Bridge looks like. I've done multiple videos with Terror and other people. Cinematic, San Francisco, all kinds of things. But show me the unusual. Show me the stuff that few people venture off the road. That's the stuff that I want to see. Yeah, Alcatraz has kind of been boned up as a more of a Hollywood type of thing. Yeah, North Shore Towing. Now you should get some merch, North Shore Towing, and put the merch out there. You should definitely put the merch out there. I have been on a diet for the last, let's shift gears again. I have been on a diet for the last, since Monday. It's going well. Dieting for me is simple. I have people ask me, yeah, Dad, do a California mission tour. Met or not, wear a MAGA hat. That's right. That's right. Whenever I go on a diet, it's very simple. Just strip out the carbs. Just strip out the carbs. You know, which means I'll nibble on a little bit of cheese during the day. I'll have some yogurt. I'll have a salad at night. Now it's corn season. I have a couple nice pieces of this sweet corn for dinner, and I'm good to go. And that's about all you need. Carbs are the devil. They're the hardest thing for your body to process, okay, to convert to sugars. That's why fats, and that's why Atkins diet and those kind of things succeed, because they just cut the carbs out to zero. And your body can more efficiently, I wish it did, Barbie. I wish it did go right to my ass. I'd eat like I'm Joey Chestnut at the annual 4th of July hot dog eating contest in Atlantic City, baby. If I thought all that stuff would go to my ass, I would be the first one in line for that, okay? I would love that. Hey, Joey D. It's the only thing I'm really missing, right? That nice big fat hind. Yeah, the Triangle of Richmond, I'll do now. You should put some merchandise out there too. I don't know. I get kind of mixed feelings about that. I don't know. It's just I admire people that take the time to put a merch line out, but I just don't feel certain things. I got to feel like the time is right, and there's certain other key things I want to focus on. I'd like to be able to get to the 30,000 subscriber level. Then you can have memberships that people can do on a monthly basis, and you can have members only. It's not like a Patreon, but you know, it's side chats and things that are open to members, so you get some more individualized attention. Now, I don't know. There's other perks that come with that too. You get to use your own custom avatars and all that. Yeah, carbs are very hard to give up. They're the backbone of the American diet in many ways. And carbs are cheap. And the American diet is shifted over. I mean, I go back, yeah, Curvella t-shirt. How you doing, McFly? I go back and I look at, as Mouse Toes will tell you frequently on the Rosie Murphy channel over the years, I put up vintage clips, glimpses of Americana. You'll see famous actors doing promotional industrial films like Hugh Beaumont, who played Ward Cleaver, doing How to Sell a Car in the 1950s and those kind of things, or the guy that did Dragnet. I can't think of his name right now. The actor with the famous voice was talking about when communists take over America. And I also focus on some of the dietary things, and you look at some of the home ec stuff that they put out from like University of Kansas or home economics department's one that comes to mind. And you look at the diets and things that they stick on the table, and you look at how small the portions are and stuff. Remember, we didn't have fast food in the 1940s and 50s, so you had more of, I think, of a well-balanced art. I love oats and brown rice. Thank God I'm still seeing. I like to have oatmeal once in a while. California, Washington State just recently abolished. I don't know if California abolished it. I know that they've just suspended it during the tenure of Governor Gray Davis. I believe that's what that. I mean, of Gavin Newsom, handsome boy. I think they suspended it during his tenure. But I'm amazed. You should go back sometime and go to the Prelinger archives or go to the National Archives and look at some of these industrial films and some of these home economic videos, and how to frost a cake and how to cook, and it's very interesting to see some of these things. Okay, Mel, you too. Call it suspended. Washington banned it. Well, here it's just a money loser. People have to pay a fortune in this state to support continuous appeals and things like that. McFly says, I love eggs, bacon, grits, hash brown, toast, pancakes, and a moon pie, baby. A moon pie. Growing up, that's all we had for breakfast was pie for breakfast. Just throw down that pie on the table and have at it. But I got to tell you, McFly, of all the years I've been doing chats and hangouts here, my friend, you're going to get the gold friggin' ribbon for the first person that ever had a moon pie for breakfast. Okay? Oh, it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Thank you, new suburb. Happy birthday, dear Mel. Ooh. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, Choochin' with Rosie t-shirt. There you go. I'd like to have a North Shore towing with a tow truck on it and Boyd on the back of it, I'll tell you, I'm thrilled again to see one classy redhead back in the chat. I think that's awesome to see her back. I wish Gina C would come back. I didn't know what her status was, and she disappeared for quite a while. And as my custom, I'll just temporarily remove the wrenches till the people show up again. So, hopefully she'll pop in again. One day, Viva Las Vegas, baby. Viva Las Vegas. Viva, viva Las Vegas. I had to laugh. Melton and I were kind of going around today about Melton's considering within 7 months there's a chance he could be moving to Las Vegas. Enjoy, man. It's your kind of town, Melton. Yeah, Marilyn Monroe, that would be a good one. A chocolate moon pie. Heat it up in the microwave. It gets nice and gooey. Yeah, you got to get down, Barbie. You and me, honey, we can go get some of those really big and busty showgirl outfits. Some of those sparkly boots and get out there hunting with all of our feathers. You can be shaking your hiney and everything, and we could really have a hoot there on Fremont Street and make a few bucks for the night too. Create a North Shore towing your t-shirt yourself and offer it as merch. Well, I would feel like I'm grabbing somebody else's idea, to tell you the truth, Kitten Cat. I'm a person that's very well. I've never been in a rush to 30,000, but I'm just saying. I don't know. I steer clear of that. Buy the purple one from the shop you went to twice, or the green one. Yeah. Cindy says we got a monsoon coming through right now. That just makes miserable conditions. Through the zip line, I did that in a short skirt in 2011, Barbie, and I was the hit of the. Had these Japanese. Went down there with Janet. That was just before, I guess, 2012, before I started my YouTube channel. And the boss and Janet and Bobby and I went down to Las Vegas. We had a good time. We get to do it again then. Yep. Let's see. Want to get to the. So I'm going to hit the last thing first. The question is step up how, and of course it has to do with what's going on down in Yuma and down in Los Algodones. And I've had some people text me today, you know, shame on you. You should step up. You should do something. And, you know, my thought is I do plenty down there. Like I said this morning, I consider myself a friend of Elvis. You know, I've never deviated from that. I hate to use that word, that verb. But step up how? You know, as I was saying before, yeah, have a Halloween party at your home for subscribers. That'd be cool to have an open house. Honey Badger, how you doing? You know, step up how? That's the issue. It's all about goodwill on a channel. You know, it's like when the battle cry goes out, and you know it's not something that should be put out often. But let's just say theoretically, for the sake of argument, if the Rancho burned down, which it might have done in 2017 when the Great Santa Rosa fire hit. Those of you new to the channel, you don't know, we were packing up vintage stereos here, loaded and unloaded the van 3 times. It's possible in a wildfire. How you doing, Carlos? It's possible. I know in my heart that if I put out a cry for help, that I would be flooded with offers of housing, money, and all those kind of things. Why? Because you create a reservoir of goodwill on your channel by doing good things for other people, helping people succeed. New people come on the YouTube platform. They may have been kicking around a while, but maybe you can give them a little bit of a boost up. Maybe you can help them achieve a little higher stature on YouTube. Because let's face it, I mean, YouTube is a competitive platform. And I know that there's people that exist out there that want to take their hands and just keep people down. Right? But I'll tell you what, people are smart on YouTube and they know that kind of stuff. What you want to do, and what I've continuously tried to stress to Elvis, is you've got no reservoir of goodwill. That tank is empty. So step up how? How? You know, this is the time, and I hate to say that. Yeah, I mean, it's negative stuff. I hate to say this, but, you know, it is what it is. And the other good thing, too, and let's face it, out of the 1930s and the cruel depths of the Great Depression, came some of the greatest advances in science, in economics, in stretching a buck, in building some of the most enduring businesses we have today. Why? Well, I haven't been there for many, Cindy, but thank you, sweetie. Because tough times really force you to be creative. Okay? We all know that. Okay, when a company's facing extinction, it goes all out to try to save itself. When the wolf's at the door, people that may have been lazy that suddenly see their support mechanism come out from under them can be amazingly creative and industrious when they need to eat and put a meal on the table. And I know that many people, how you doing? No one has the right to tell you to step up. How you doing, Mr. X? I got a lot of it today. I got a lot of it today. I've said before, in kitten cattle, bear me out on it. I won't see anybody go hungry. That's for damn sure out there. But you know, it's a time to really reach down, to be self-reflective, and to really think about, you know, as I've always said, yes, you can have views on YouTube. We all know about grabbing the low-hanging fruit of playing ball with the trolls and batting that back and forth. But what's good for YouTube is not good for personal business, and it's not good for survival. And I think that that's being borne out right now. I think we all hate that McFly when people are hungry and homeless. And we have a society. How you doing, buddy Holly? We have a society that's, you know, riddled by drugs. Most major cities, epidemics of drugs and self-inflicted problems of people and psychotic behaviors and drug-induced lunacy. And it's almost reached a point in this kind of city where it's almost unmanageable. I'm just saying, Shay Show, there's no more to step up, you know? Step up means what? If I step up financially, I basically have to scrap my travel plans for the fall, right? I wonder if Marshall would do the same. I'd like to think so. I'm sure if I needed something, and he's spent much more money on me than you guys would ever believe. But you always hope in their heart that there's that reciprocity. There's always that thing in the back of your mind is, would he do the same for me? You always hope so on YouTube. San Francisco has tons of homeless. The most dangerous chooch I ever went on was with Mr. Z down to the Tenderloin. That's the closest we ever came. I ever came to feel like we just aren't going to make it off the street. We went down one side of the street at 2 p.m. There were maybe 30 homeless people. By the time we went about a mile down the road and turned around and we looked up the street, I told Mr. Z, I said, we got ourselves a situation here. I looked up the street. Now there were about 150 homeless people out on the street on both sides. And you can hear me say on the video, Mr. Z, flip a coin, man. It's like a Hobson's choice here, no matter what we do. We're in the stew. We had a guy that threw milk in another guy's face, and the guy pulled his knife out on the street. The woman screaming at my cell phone, smashed. Why's that bitch still got her cell phone? Go snatch that thing out of her hand and smash it up. You know, it was wicked. Okay. And I hate to think that that's a preview for the coming of America. Yeah, you don't want to do that, Barbie. Definitely. A gal that looks like you just be open to all sorts of sexual taunts and things like that. So, yeah, go back and look at that. Go back and look at that stream. Mr. Z, he came to visit us in April, and I took him down to, he wanted to go on a chooch. We saw where he stayed on his base, and he grew up as a child down there at Presidio. We had a great time, went out on the Golden Gate. And I said, Mr. Z, it's not complete unless we go on an urban chooch, the good in the hood. Well, old Rosie almost bit off a little more than she could chew on that one. And the point was taken on that. That's a boot camp for homeless. Okay? Now, LA is kind of the same way. Okay, promised in the... Oh, wow. Oh, sorry to hear that, movie buff. I kind of... if Marshall and I, or D and I, and Marshall, D and I go to into LA, nothing in his life has ever prepared him for that experience. To see that level of homelessness with literally 100,000 people out on the streets that are taking up sidewalks, which means that you have to walk into the streets. Do you think a caning would benefit? I don't know. God. Kitten Cat, why don't you just ask me if a keel hauling would benefit? You know, we'll take you know what the keel hauling is when they tie a rope on somebody's hands, and then another rope on their legs, and they drop them down on the front of the ship, and the rope on their legs. They wait for that to go under the ship and come out the backside, and they'll snatch that rope up on deck, and they'll just tell that person, take a deep breath, hold your breath, and they will just scrape that person down the bottom of the ship from the bow to the stern. And then even on the older ships, that's, you know, 100, 150, 200 feet. Guess what? Very few people live through that experience. Would that benefit him? I don't know. You know, content, yes. Benefit, no. I like to think we're a little more evolved, but you know, Kitten Cat, people get resourceful when their backs are against the wall. I know you know that. I know that you know that people find their real inner self, their real best vision of the future, not in some made up homeless with a sleeping bag over your shoulders and a propane heater under a bridge over underpass in Chicago pretending. Okay, this is life now. This is the real deal. And there's a big difference between now and then. There isn't a reservoir of goodwill to derive upon. Okay, it's like the string has been paid out. Not being here, but take Elvis to LA to 10 if he does not do things right. This could be you in your future. Honestly believe that moment is in hand. And this hangout is not about Marshall, and I'm going to conclude it here with just this thought. You always make your most important life-changing decisions when your back is against the wall and your options have run out. That's when you really discover the power of motivation and the power of the human mind. I'm not interacting right now with Marshall. I don't even think I talked to him on the phone yesterday. I sure didn't talk to him today. Because what can I do? Step up how? How? You know, the choice is clear. You're going to have to figure out what to do. Okay? Yeah, Sheriff Joe wants to bring Tent City back to Phoenix. Oh my goodness. Kitten Cat's too fat and happy. It's some kind of hot, and as Cindy said, the surge of the monsoon is coming there, and I can't imagine a more sickening combination than high humidity and high heat. That was Detroit. That was Chicago. I posted up on my community page shots of the big billboard warnings, excessive heat warning, highs of 105 degrees, and the humidity was off the chain. Well, that's what I'm saying. Look, you do what you... Hot Frog, how you doing, sweetie? You do what you want to do. I will always make sure you have something to eat, okay, as a friend. And probably a roof over your head in an emergency situation, okay? I've never made any bones about that. I think that's just human, you know, friendship that's born of many years. Do I want to see Marshall succeed? Of course I do. But I just have a lot of regrets that success cannot be built on a platform of positivity, but instead is built on a WWE platform of negativity. Do I care for him? Yes, I care for him very much. I would like to see him succeed and have a happy life. Yeah, Barbie's like, I'm originally from Houston and I got away when I could. Honey, I got away from Baltimore when I could. Okay? That's right. Kitten Cat said all roads lead back to caning. Man, you really got an urge. Hey, Miss Kitty, how are you? Damn, Kitten Cat. You got the urge to go for it, honey. I don't know if I'm stupid, man. I'm too deep in. I'm too many years in. Mr. X is a lot of years in. Jory's a lot of years in. And don't ever kid yourself if you don't think that we've all preached the same message. But, you know, Marshall's going to do what Marshall's going to do. He's a grown man. And, you know, I wish him the best on his teeth endeavors. But, you know, when you're looking at AC unit out on the roof, you've got a leaking water tank, you have a leaking rear main bearing seal, you have a sketchy suspension thing going on, you have wheels that only have 3 studs on them. You know, the list goes on and on and on. And as I said before, there's no capital reserve to really draw on for replacement. Step up? How? That's the question. So, caning is, I think caning was a British tradition, Barbie, where they would take, I don't know, probably adolescents up to a certain age and drop their drawers, put them over a chair, and take a piece of birch or something like that and switch the hell out of them with it. Sometimes if they were older or stiffer, caning over the back and things like that. So my sign is I'm on the cusp of Gemini and Cancer. June 21st. Hot frogs. So we want to see our fellow human being. When they're coming, we need to give them some room. Well, that's what I'm saying. This time in the desert can be a time of enlightenment. It can be a time of personal growth, times of personal struggle. You look at your bank account, you look at your needs, and it almost becomes unfathomable. And as much as ham and eggers were derided, the chumps that paid for apartments and houses, us suckers that pounded the floor at 5 a.m. in the morning for 46 years, punching a clock or otherwise working. I think we got our priorities right. You know, that we feared this. We feared that kind of shit. It's why I didn't take off in a van in 2013 and just commit to being a boondocking van dweller. Okay, because of personal responsibilities, family responsibilities, and also a fear of the future, a real fear of the future. Catcher on the rye bread, how are you? Every baby that was in the hospital with me in the day I was born is just like me. How about that? How about that, Tasha? Well, I was born on a kitchen table, so I didn't have that experience. I'm all Cancer, July 5th. I wish they would change the name of my birth sign. Cancer is the most despised word. And, well, it's a much older term than cancer, the medical affliction there. So, standing ovation. You can disrespect and insult people friendly. Finally, the word gets out and wells run dry. In his defense, I will say that, as I was saying last night, and I'm going to push on with this topic, I don't like to give it attention on my chats because I get accused of using it for content. But the conversation naturally flowed here tonight, so I go with it. Okay? But I'm saying if you choose to do that type of WWE thing, it's all good. It's like the person I said before that falls out of a 120-story building and they're kind of smiling on the way down because, you know, everything's okay, and they pass a person on the 60th floor and the person yells to them, hey, you know you're falling, how do you feel? And that guy is falling. So far so good, everything's good until you splat and until you hit the ground. Okay, things can be different, but the cold, cruel hand of capitalists, this is why I think Marshall started to turn more to socialism and flights of fantasy about communism, because of this perceived idea that if we all take an oar on the ship and we're all equal, we'll all get where we're going. But the reality, is you put people in that galley rowing that on those oars, and unless there's the whip of the Romans or the Egyptians on their back, that you know some people are just gonna just float along. But the idea appeals to people because they get something for nothing. Okay, it's another way of putting your human needs of food, shelter, and clothing that everybody else has to carry the burden. And what happens? My classic definition of communism: equal misery for all. The classic definition of communism. Under a pure capitalist society, which I think is still the greatest form of the free hands and independent movement of the economy, the imperative is to be productive, or you produce or perish. Well, we've lost a lot of that in this country with liberalism and some other things that have come in. But that's for another discussion. Yeah, he told me he was a libertarian and an anarchist. He watched too many Fourth Amendment auditing videos. I just, I knew sooner or later the idea of socialism would strike a note. We all bear the burden equally, but do we really? We also blunt the forces of creativity. If I'm not going to be rewarded any more than the slob that's sitting across the desk from me doing the same menial bullshit, if I don't have a chance to break out and make something better of myself, why should I be creative? Why should I be innovative? Why should I tell the boss how we could get more production? There's nothing in it for me. There's the fatal flaw of socialism and communism, is a total destruction of creativity and economic progress. Berkeley Watt, there's Chris. How you doing? Nice to see you, Chris. Will you whip Elvis to make him work? What the hell what's with the beatings tonight? What is with you, Happy G? I'm not gonna physically, on the Rancho, it's not like the old ranch hand days where, the boss man would have him tied up on the hands on a tree and whip him with the bullwhip 13 times because he ripped off somebody else's shit in the bunkhouse and stuff. I think beatings are American, but I think they're more rooted in the British tradition. People think that beatings like in China and places, they're real rarities. Okay? They're very rare things unless you're a political dissident or some kind of robber. They have a lot of thieves, theft, and a lot of shit that happens in China that doesn't make. Rosie doesn't have. Yeah, I don't have a red room. I mean, I could put my black corset on and my teeny weeny bottom and have my fishnet stockings and my black, gloves. Well, I'm just saying, Tosh, I'm looking forward to your update. I have a lot of respect for you and your independence of thought, and your independence of spirit. I don't think it's everybody's cup of tea, but you do have some really great core values that I identify with. Mistress Rosie, yeah, it's just Missy Jenn. She's all German, baby. Now, Barbie, I'd let spank me on that. I get shivery when I think of Barbie Pena, It's got that right mix of Latina that I like in there. Did you say it was Irish and with some combination, Irish and Argentinian or Cuban or something on there? Winged Bull Mafia, yeah. Oh, it's National Red Wine Day, not WHINE. Oh, put elbow in a teeny weeny bikini. Like I say, I will always take his phone call when he calls and just try to work out some type of feasible plan for the future. It's got to be very tempting. My biggest fear, my number one overriding fear, is that he gets cold feet on the tooth thing. He looks at the money that he has left, and he just can't open his hand to do that work. That's my biggest fear. That's my biggest fear, and then we will have wasted a lot of capital and a lot of time in a frivolous pursuit. And that's my biggest fear, that fear overcomes him, and it's just like, I'm sorry, I just can't do it. It's a question of food in my mouth versus that. Now turning to D. Okay, that's all I'm going to say on that. I want to talk about D a little bit because I did see, I don't know why I'm not getting his notifications. He's got his comments disabled too. D, turn your comments back on, okay? Yeah, got pliers at the Rancho. Okay, please turn your comment section back on because not everybody can be at the live event. And you did an update from your van there today, and I really would have liked to have left you. Cheers, BWW. Cheers. I would have loved to have left you a comment on that, but I couldn't. But I really want to applaud you. Yeah, thanks for hitting the like button. I really do want to applaud you for having joined the van dwelling community now. You're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to have a lot of challenges too, as we all do. Bumps in the road, as I'll talk about things tomorrow. Yeah, good for D and his new van. The one thing I like about D, and you can say what you want. People say deadbeat dad. People talk about the past, and most of us on Boyd, many of us, a few of us. Okay, I'll make you happy. A few of us on Boyd, we have some pretty rugged pasts. Okay. It's probably what makes us the people that we are today, and why people enjoy watching the journeys and the chats, because we're not perfect people. And I'm not hearkening to Florida. I'm just talking about the accumulation of a whole life. Okay, but it's kind of nice when you see somebody begin to realize their dream, and they're willing to shape that into some self-help. They're willing to fold that in with a very high degree of self-help. How you doing, Flower Power? I'll just do what I can, Kimberly, and how are you, honey? There's nothing wrong with working for the man and being a ham and egger so that you can enrich your experience of being on the road. And the one thing that I've liked about D is he picks up work and is not afraid to go in and get dirty painting, to go in there, do demolition work, go in there, be a day laborer if he has to. Of course, he has better skills than that. But imagine the sense of pride that D has now with having something that in his eyes puts him in. Now, I'm not, Black Bigot's on his scooter. I like that. I enjoy Black Bigot. Okay. I've talked to him on the phone. He's a nice guy. Okay. He does his thing on the scooter, but when you do your thing, no problem. I'm missing a lot of the side chat tonight. But when you do your thing in a van, then you really do. You don't have to worry about pitching a tent in downtown San Diego. Not a good idea. You have something that's stealth. You can kind of park it on a 24-hour lot. You have a lot more options to kind of blend in industrial areas and things like that. Other used car lots. Yeah, I've done that before. Yes. All right, is this for sale? How you doing, Debbie Lynn? I had the bright idea one of the greatest things you could do was just park on the edge of a used car lot. Boy, didn't he get an eyeful. Isn't that a good idea, Hop Frog? You got to give it to me. You know what I mean? I just backed that little bastard in there and just, underneath the twirling little banner things that flutter in the wind. I think that you can park in hotels. How aggressive, especially if you back away from from, say, the beach areas and places like that. It's not that difficult unless you have a 19-foot camper van with a 3-foot rack on the back. Now you're going to kind of be the odd person out in that situation. But I'm thinking about D now feeling like he's stepping up to really being self-sufficient on the road. being able to go work a job, take his house with him. Can even ask somebody if they, hey, could you do some painting for me? Hey, do you mind if I just crash in your driveway tonight? I got my van. I just sleep in. Hey, no problem at all. Here's a cold beer. Have a good night. I mean, the possibilities that opens. How you doing, Colleen? The possibilities that opens are tremendous. And I'm excited to hear somebody that combines a decent attitude on YouTube, far from perfect. Okay, but a decent attitude on YouTube, a generally a neat appearance, and obviously well groomed, who works. Okay, when need be, works. And despite what people say, enjoys a good relationship with his family. Okay. There's a person I would like to see. There's a person I'd like to see succeed. Now, he doesn't have the personality of an Elvis, personality of a Rosie, but he has his own qualities that make him unique as an individual. And he's also a person that's been very, helped me out numerous times in very tight jams that I've gotten myself into. Okay. Very, very good. Yeah, Missy Jenn is cruising around here. She's doing something over here. He bakes a mean fish stick and chips. So I'd like to see him succeed, because with his success comes more financial support. He's able to do more for family. And I know it. I know that that's really what he wants to do, is to combine really what I thought Elvis was going to originally do, is forget the apartment, forget the house, forget the mortgage payment, forget the rent, but live in the camper van, and then you could be like a security guard somewhere. And if you're a nice person, the boss might tell you, you know what, Marshall, I like you, son. I'm going to let you be our overnight unpaid security. You just park your van behind the building here. Keep an eye on it at night. And you'll never have an excuse to be late or miss work in the morning. And it's a win-win situation. That's the kind of thing I can see Dee kind of doing. That kind of thing. Okay, like I said, we're not perfect people. Certainly I have a past that's strewn with some ugliness too. Has certainly been laid out on YouTube, but I concentrate more on where we go in the future than where we have been in the past. Maybella, how you doing, honey? Oh, his daughter was on live stream. Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah, he does frequently talk to those to his family, and I like that. So. Perfect, not by any means. Yeah, it's true, that could happen. Then you know what happens. You're working as a security guard. You're working your 40 hours for 600, $600 a week. So you have no overhead at all. You got a place that you can park your rig. Maybe the boss says you can plug into the outlet in back of the building. Cool. Now you got all the power you want. And, you're beating the man, which is exactly the way it started out. I want to beat the man. I don't want to pay for shelter. I want to carry my home with me. I'm houseless but not homeless was the way it used to go. I don't know. There's a difference between doesn't want to work and you have to work. And I think that's the crunch time that we reach right now. Do I think his core Marshall's a good person? Yes, I do. Do I think he's too much wrapped up into the veneer of WWE? I think that worked as a tremendous detriment to, as I said, you might be good for business for YouTube, but it's not good for business in the real world. You don't appreciate that reservoir of support that you need on YouTube. It's not going to derive from AdSense. Okay? I already talked last night about why I think AdSense is going to be greatly diminished and why YouTube pushes people to depend on their fan base more for their well-being, because it makes them be better YouTube family members. True or false? I really think it is. What do you think a good job for him would be? Any job. I'm not, Colleen, I'm just not going to go there. I'm just going to say it's a trying time to be him right now. And I'm going to, as a friend, I'm going to just say I feel for you, Marshall, down there. And I pray to God, and I do at night, that things go your way and that you can get your teeth taken care of and somehow make a van build happen. Okay? But it's crunch time. Okay? I was saying that in 10 years you're going to be an AdSense millionaire. I'm not even sure. Yeah, YouTube is using people. Of course, people are the grist of YouTube. YouTube loves it down there when people come on and fancy themselves to be stars, and many times they end up with a humiliating experience. They don't get the subs, they don't get the views, and then sometimes it's another psychological slap in the face, because people get the idea that you succeed overnight. I see it all the time with new people that come on YouTube. They start to upload a few videos, they get 8 or 10 views, and they get discouraged. Go look at my stuff from 2013, 45, 60 views. You either have a passion for it or you don't. Don't ever come here to make money. That was interesting. Go down and yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I said the other night. It's the worst fucking time with this economy so damn unstable right now. 10-year interest rates plummeting, 10-year interest rates plummeting way below 2-year rates. We're in a fucked up economy right now. Silver going through the roof, gold. I'm not going to get into that. Yeah, it's a fun hobby, Tasha. You have a good read on it. If I had to do it all over again, I would certainly think twice about it. But I'm too deep in, There's too much invested into the brand now to just walk off at this. I'm still healthy and everything else. With addiction to YouTube. So am I. There's certain people that are very addicted to it, I certainly am. It's been my core hobby for years, but I've managed to weave vintage audio, RVing, metal detecting, and other things into it. Good night, Mark Handler. You take care, my friend. Yeah, but Cobra John, I click on your channel now. Now you're putting music on your stuff. It doesn't matter to you. I don't mean that in a flip sense. I mean, you got it together. You got a life. You got responsibilities that you and I discussed that nobody else will ever know on this platform here. You go to bed at night with a tremendous sense of pride in yourself and pride in accomplishment. Anybody can look at your last video, see the tremendous way that you take care of your workplace garage there. That tells you all you need to know about Cobra John. You can look at people's, and I'm kind of a slob. I'm like the Oscar Madison. Missy Jenn's like Felix Unger. I admit that. I'm getting a little better though these days. But you can tell a lot about the organization of the mind through something like that. And Alexa, honey, you're addicted. I like the way Anna bounces out for 4 months. She's like, I'm on hiatus. I can't take this shit anymore. I can't take this shit anymore. I'm out of here. I'm a North Carolina, Asheville girl. I can't take this. Yeah, where is Alpine Gulch? I've not really seen her around. I'm kind of missing her. So anyway, with Dee coming into the van community, now you can see a switch in him. He actually mentioned tonight that he would consider, now that the scooter is going to be all fixed up, might be a prime sale candidate to put a few dollars in your pocket. It might be. He's considering that now. Like I said, a van just opens so many doors of bringing your shelter with you, especially exploring the great cities and urban areas. And you can still go out to the BLM land and camp out there. And who cares? You paid $500 for a rig. If it explodes in 2 years or so, who in the hell cares? You have a reservoir of, you have that critical reservoir of support of people. I'll make that band stealth. I hope so. Stealth is the key. Thank you, LaDonna. Says I'm inspiring to many, and also, well, there's a flip side of that too. Repulsive to many. Chooch videos. Thank you, Project Blue Book. I would encourage anybody to go back, especially the Great Lakes. Some of the Oakland tours. Check out what you can do with a cell phone camera. The lead video coming into the channel for unsubscribed people, Beneath the Roaring Niagara Falls. I mean, it's. I've had people tell me how motivated they are now to try to put good videos together with just a cell phone, and to try to add a little music to it, and to have a little bit of camera movement, and it's very gratifying to see that. Tasha says, I'd be nervous driving something I didn't go through top to bottom. The only thing that doesn't make me nervous, Tasha, is it came out of it's off of an estate sale with a verified death of a person, and I think the family just doesn't give a damn, you know. I would predict that he could probably get 25 to 50,000 good miles out of that. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I know you were talking about your Xterra. Thank you, Shay Shay. You're sweet. I'd love to see North Shore Towing t-shirt. That would be great. Could you imagine when I go back to Chicago? What the hell is that? Yeah, I work for North Shore Towing. Baby, you can tow my car. Do, do, do. Baby, you can tow my car. Yeah, if the vehicle is never, but for $500, you know, plenty of people would, you know, I don't know. Somebody had mentioned on chat that I had bought him a van. I didn't contribute anything to to his van purchase. We talked on the phone a couple times. If I can help him with the van build out, then that's, I think that's a good contribution. That Bronze Baby. Bronze Baby, I saw you tearing up a chat. I don't know who in the hell it was. Yeah, stay local a bit. That's what I told them before. Run your scooter out too. Make sure it's all good and working well. And take that thing on the highway. Get that back tire fixed, man. Just get a new set of rear tires on that thing, okay? They don't have to be fancy-dancy ones on a minivan. Good $64 Walmart tires will do you fine. 50,000 mile. I agree with you, Tasha. Yeah, that's what he said. Give me. No, he's not. And that accrues to his credit, I think. Yeah, it's an opportunity to buy. I mean, $500 is kind of a crapshoot. I don't think, you know, you pulled the Carfax for it. I think it was 20,000 miles put on in 10 years or something. You gotta change the engine oil. You gotta put new power steering fluid in. I would remove the transmission fluid, but I would not drain the fluid out. I'd just drop the pan and put some new oil in there. People sometimes have disastrous consequences when they totally drain out the automatic transmission fluid. And, you know, just give it a good check out. Make sure the brakes are good. Age versus mileage doesn't. I tend to agree, Tasha. You get to a place like Nevada, it's very dry. And, you know, you're not going to have a lot of rust, and a lot of your mileage is going to be very high mileage out in Las Vegas, highway mileage. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. I know he's going to feel a little ashamed about the outside, the way it looks, but that's what makes it fun. How creative can you be? Yeah, check the dipstick often. how creative can you be to make it nice? It gives you a nice challenge. I remember I dated this girl in first year of college, and I had a 1962 Chevy Biscayne. It's an ugly ass car. And it was like some putrid little chartreuse green, and it was ugly and rusty. And I asked this gal out, and she just took a look at that car. I pulled up to take her out. Her father was a circuit court judge in Baltimore City. And he just walked out, big guy, like 6'6", about 320, and I'm like 5'6", and he just started laughing. It's like a fucking Orson Welles. And he took his daughter by the arm and he said, something that looks like that, you're not riding in. You know what I did? I went home that weekend. I bought a can of forest green paint. I just took a fucking paintbrush. And I just painted the thing, you know? And then I get the better looking girl for the date next weekend anyway, you know? Man, it was different back then, guys. It was different, you know. It was really, I mean, I'm not even tell you. Shit, that's for another night. I had a 51 Chrysler Imperial. I almost ran through their house one night, but that's for a different story. Hey, Poppy J. Poppy J, thank you so much for your kindness today. I see you here in the chat, and I'm not going to pass that without singling you out and saying thank you very much for your communications and your support and tip on the channel here. It was unexpected. It's very appreciated. I'm not doing a lot of things right now, but that was really wonderful of you, and I really appreciate that. That's what I was talking about, the reservoir of goodwill that people will just randomly say, here, you know, I enjoy your content and enjoy the person that you are. And I'm very blessed with that. It's going to be really good on the road. Yeah, 1951 Chrysler Crown Victoria, man. 5,000 pounds, okay? Next time I'll tell you what happens when you lose your brakes, okay? Going down the hill. Anyway, guys, it's been an hour and 17 minutes. I'm going to bid you all a good night. And I want to thank you for being with me tonight for a few laughs. And we can all have a heart, I think, when need be. Just spare a thought in your mind if you have any reservoir of goodwill left. A prayer for Marshall down there that he's not hanging out in the titty bar drinking $2 Modelo beers, please. I told Missy Jenn my biggest fear is he's down there just hanging at a titty bar at nighttime. I'm so afraid that they're just gonna pick him like a turkey on the back alley one night, and then it's really gonna be really a disaster down there. Anyway, good night to all of you. I don't know if One Classy Redhead is still in the chat. I'm very happy to see you back again. I'd sure like to see Gina C back here, because at the end of the day, misunderstandings can occur on YouTube, and my moderators will tell you I have nothing but affection in my heart for you. Okay? Anyway, good night, everybody. Thank you, One Classy Redhead. I'm not sure, Smooth. I have not communicated to him today, but I do wish him well. Anyway, Smooth, nice to see you. Best to you and your family. I hope you're enjoying your summer. With that, I'm going to end the stream and say thank you very much. Woo!